Hey guys, Marissa at KitchenTableStamper.com. You are joining us in video number 2 in the Forever Friendship Wonder Recipe number 4 Stamp Stack. We are going to make time for a cardigan. If you missed video number 1, go check it out. The links for the series are below. I just can't thank you enough. The next video in our series, third video, will be the last design. Our friendship will live forever, unlike most of the houseplants I found. And then our last video in the series will be the gift box. It's got a pocket for 7 cards, envelopes, and a place to put some postage stamps too. So it's a 4-video series, and as I complete the videos, I'll link them all below. All right, let's get started with this card. The first thing I want to show you is our Wonder Recipe. So we're using Wonder Recipe number 4. There are 20 Wonder Recipes. They're 6x6, 1-sheet Wonder cutting diagrams. So what we did was we cut 3 pieces of Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper. So saffron, Calypso Coral, and Mint Macaron, according to the Wonder Recipe. And now we're going to take these pieces that are 4 1/4 by 1 3/8, and we're going to make 2 cards. See how it makes 2? Now our 1 3/8 by 3 1/4 inch pieces made these 3 cards in the last video. And then in the next video in the series, we'll take these 2 stacks and we'll use those to make the houseplants. All right, so let's get started with our background stamping. If you're stamping a stack, then I would go ahead and do all 7. This stack makes 7 cards, all 7 backgrounds at one time. I'm going to use the Knit Together background. This is from the annual catalog. It's an awesome complement to our Forever Friendship stamp set. And we're going to stamp crumb cake on crumb cake. So I'm going to ink this up, face up on the table. This is the way I like to do backgrounds best. All right, I've covered my background with crumb cake ink, and now I've got a piece of crumb cake cardstock. This is 3 3/4 by 5, and we're gonna lay that right on top of our knit background. And then I'll grab some mini grid paper here, lay over the top, and just run our fingers over, transferring the image from the stamp to the paper. Now the fun part about this is you can feel the edge of the paper. So you can go right around the edge and make sure you get a good edge-to-edge coverage. And then you can run your fingers down the middle, and you'll never get a blank middle from your background stamp again with that method. And there's our background. We're going to adhere the background to a crumb cake card base. This card base is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. We've scored it at 4 1/4. I'm just going to use some liquid glue and adhere my background. So we got our card front on the card base, and this makes 2 copies of the card. So we've got 2 of those. Now we can adhere our Designer Series paper. 1 strip of each color on each card. And there's our sample. I do prefer liquid glue for this kind of layering stuff because you got a minute to shift if it's not quite straight or if it's not quite toggled right. I'm going to do these little toggled pieces, and I do want them to all overlap at the top. Don't want any gaps between the papers, but I also want to maintain that cute kind of angles. So I got a little bit of time to slide. Same with when I'm putting the card front. I've got a little time to make sure that my borders are all even. So liquid glue is my preferred method for those reasons. I have a very hard time getting everything on centered and straight. But when I take my hands away and I see that it's a little crooked with the liquid glue, I still have a bit of time to kind of push or slide things. All right, there's our Designer Series papers. I think they look pretty good. Let me show you the die cutting for this one. We've got basic white circle and a sweet sorbet scallop circle. Those are both cut with the layering circles dies, and they're all the same for each of the designs. 2 13/16, the second largest of the scalloped, and 2 3/8, the third largest of the smooth circles. I'm going to spatter those a little bit using my favorite Quiet Meadow stamp set. I think that for the cost of admission, I've gotten my value using this spatter. I just think it's a really fun way to add a little texture. It all started because of the typewriter. I thought it looked like the typewriter in the first one kind of spattered the ink a little bit, but then it was a nice accent that we carried on through the whole Stampin' stack. So I got Memento Tuxedo Black. I'm just gonna go ahead and stamp. And then I'm gonna stamp again. Let's see here, how do I want to do that? Maybe like that. All right. All right, I've got a strip of basic white. This is 7/16 by 3 inches. It's just a hair more narrow than 1/2 inch. I'm going to stamp. It's time for a cardigan all the way to the right. We're gonna leave just a little bit of room on the right for a chicken lips, but for the most part, we want it off center. All right, get some scraps. Now you're stamping a stack here. I'm gonna do my cardigan and my flags, but if you're doing all 7 of these cards, you'll want to do all your stamping in Memento and then all your coloring at one time and batch work these cards. So we're going to do a cardigan and 2 flags. For the whole set, you'll need 2 cardigans and 4 flags. But you might as well do your houseplants and your typewriters, stamp everything, and then color everything, and then cut everything for the whole set. So I did a green cardigan, and I did a red cardigan. And then on the cover of the box, I did a red cardigan. This time I want a yellow one. Let's see what happens, all right? So let me get my Stampin' Blends. I'm using So Saffron and Daffodil Delight. Now I'm using the dark in each of those collections. I thought it gave me a little bit happier, brighter yellow. And for the flags, I'm going to use Mint Macaron, light and dark, and Poppy Parade, light and dark. I think that'll do it. Let's go ahead with our cardigan, and I'm going to take the So Saffron on the brush tip, and I'm just going to color with little like flick strokes and color in all of the body of the cardigan. I haven't done a yellow one yet, so I'm just kind of winging it how I want to do highlights and shadows. Now I'm going to take the bullet of the daffodil and do all the trim. I kind of liked the Mint Macaron, and now I'm really enjoying this Daffodil Delight one because you get a little bit more depth, a little bit more. The Sweet Sorbet are very close. The shades of Sweet Sorbet are very close to each other, so you don't get quite as much drama between the 2 shades. So I'm just going to swipe some of the Daffodil Delight kind of up from the cuffs, in the sleeves, and the pockets. And then I'll go back with my light So Saffron and touch any places that are a little too white, because I just kind of sketched in quick, and bring together those areas where I put a little bit of daffodil. Yeah, I think I like that. All right, so there's my cardigan. Maybe a little more intensity here. I'm gonna swipe kind of a second coat of So Saffron. And then I'm gonna touch a little bit more around these buttons because there's a little white. I love this And then the time for a cardigan punny greeting. Oh, you had me at hello. Anything punny, I'm telling you. All right, we're gonna do one of our flags, mint macaron, and one with sweet sorbet. And all I'm doing for the flags, I'm doing them both the same. I'm gonna fill in the pennant with the light, and then I'm gonna take the dark and I'm gonna go down the back, curve, and then down along the bottom with a light little line, and then combine with little scribbles. Repeat with the sweet sorbet. And here's where you'll see what I mean about how close the two shades are. So I'm going down the back, like we did with the mint macaron. You barely are going to need to blend this together. Do you see how close those shades of red are? I'll just touch along the edge. Just love it. All right, let's cut out these items. We're gonna give a little fussy cut and get them trimmed out. All right, there's our cardigan, our pennants. Here's our mint macaron cardigan and some pennants for the mint macaron card. Let's go ahead and adhere our splattered circle to our scalloped circle. And we're going to put a little chicken lips on our banner. I'm going to use my tailored tag punch. Now, if you've been following any time at all, you know that I cannot even do chicken lips without this tool. So a little dovetail ends there. We call that chicken lips. And I'm going to pop that right in my tailored tag punch. This is currently on the clearance rack for like $10.80. Just for chicken lips. It is worth every penny. But of course it makes a really cool tag shape too. So there's my chicken lips. Oh, see, it's a little off, but it's okay because once you see where it's a little off, you just do a little snip and it's right back on again. I used to be really good at doing it with scissors. Then I got this tool and now I can't even imagine life without it. So if you don't already have a tailored tag punch, pick it up and use it for the chicken lips. All right, let's go ahead and glue some of these pieces to the card front. So let's start with the layers here. I've got one more bit of stamping to do. So let's glue these down, make a little space. One for each card. And then we're gonna bring our tuxedo black ink pad back in. All right, I've got my 5 by 3 3/4 card liner, and I just can't thank you enough. So it'll say on the outside, it's time for a cardigan. Just can't thank you enough on the inside. I always need thank you cards. So many thank you cards. The Forever Friendship bundle has happy birthday there. So it's time for a cardigan. Happy birthday. Would be really cute, especially if you stamped a couple of those pennants in there with the happy birthday greeting. All right, so just some ideas, but I need thank you cards, always so many thank you cards. I put them in with class packets. I send thank you cards, handmade for every Stampin' Up! Order that I get. So we do a lot of thank you cards around here. All right, so there's our inside liner. And I think the end of our stamping. Going to line the inside of our card. A little liquid glue. Tuck that right in there. So cute. It's one of those little hearts from the cracker and treat box inside that would be really cute too. All right. I have these left. I showed you in the last video. I don't know if we cut too many or cut the wrong color for a class packet or something, but since I have them, I am using them up. They're crumb cake cardstock, punched with the bow punch. And we're also going to do a couple of these little sorbet hearts. So I've got 2 already cut ahead, but let's grab our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and cut a couple more. The little heart die that I'm going to use comes from the Cracker and Treat box. I love this box. It's going to be so much fun, but the nice part is you get all those word windows. You get 2 tags, 5 word windows, the little 3 heart die, and stars, just like this one. So if you just use the accessory pieces on a regular basis, you're going to get so much value out of that die set. We're going to pop that in. We're going to cut 3 at a time, so we'll need to do 2 passes for this. And look at how cute they are. It's such a great way to stretch the embellishments on your card. We're going to add some cute sorbet faceted gems, but you don't need quite as much bling when you mix up the bling with little cardstock cutouts like this. I've got both minis and regular size. I like to cut them all in half so that we can make the most of our dimensionals. Everything on this layers is practically going to go on dimensionals. So we're going to put on our cardigan. Now, whichever pennant is going to overlap your cardigan a little bit. So for me, it's going to be the Sweet Sorbet. You want to be careful that you only put the adhesive far to the back of the flag so that when it overlaps, you're not getting a double adhesive. And I'm also going to put a little strip. I love the edges of the minis for this, down the flag, the pennant, the banners down the pole here. See, just a little strip like that. Banners are getting dimensional too. Just avoid where the sleeve is going to tuck under a little bit right there. And then one of our hearts is going to get a little half a dimensional. The other one's going to go on with a bit of glue. Okay, I got all my bits and I think they're all dimensional. So let's go ahead and start adding our pieces. Got my cardigan. And then my pennant that's going to kind of overlap my cardigan. My greeting goes all the way down so you just see the scallops underneath. Slide the little leaves underneath. Lift and tuck if you need be. And then another banner. Now our little dimensional heart can go down below. And we need to catch up our other copy. Here, let's slide this guy in. We're going to do our little mint macaron cardigan. So cute. We've got one last little sticky heart. Now we need some details here. Are you ready? We're going to grab some linen thread and tie a bow for each of these. And I'm just going to tie a nice big loopy bow. All right, I've got one bow for each card. We'll trim the tails a little bit. Now we're going to bring in some glue dots. And what I like to do for this little guy is put the heart on a glue dot and then put the knot for this little bow on a glue dot. Pick up the heart, put the heart on the knot, then pick up the whole embellishment and add it on to the end of the tag there. We can give the bow a little bit of finesse, give it a trim if it needs it. And let's do the same for our other card. And we've got our little loops and tails. Let's give them arrangement and trim the excess. Now we need a little bit of sparkle and shine. So I'm bringing back my opaque adhesive back gems. These are brand new. They'll be available January 5th from the spring catalog. And we're just going to add a couple of gems in the branch here, kind of floating up from where the heart is. And I'm doing a kind of a larger size one and the medium size one. But of course you can mix them up and do what you like. There it is, time for a cardigan. And there's our second design in the Forever Friendship Wonder Recipe number 4 Stamp-A-Stack. All right, you guys, if you missed video number 1, you can check out the link below. I'll be back tomorrow with video number 3, where we'll make Our Friendship Will Live Forever. And then in the final video, we'll make our card box. Halfway there, guys. I'll see you in the next video. To shop Stampin' Up, buzz over to marissaalvarez.stampinup.net. And if you've got any questions, if there's anything I can do to help you stay crafty, email marissa@kitchentablestamper.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.